BMW is the car brand that has the highest number of dedicated fans all over the world. The way we have 30 BG and Whiskey FC on the Nigerian Twitter space is the same way there's something called the BMW fanboys. If you're not buying a Ferrari, you're not buying a Porsche, you're not buying a Lamborghini, and you want to drive something that feels that way on the road, BMW is where you go to. So it's very easy to understand why this brand has a cult following all over the world. But Nigerians are very scared of BMWs. BMWs are bad guys and everyone is scared of a bad guy. Only 1 out of 35 Nigerians would buy a BMW. And Theo is one of them.
Put on your number.
I know you want to ask how I got my start, so I went on Instagram, 234 Drive, and asked the question, why are you people scared of buying BMWs? And the replies were shocking. Nobody said they wanted. Everybody just started spilling, oh, the car is this, the car is that, the car is that, the car is this. My name is Crank of 234 Drive, and today I am telling you the 5 reasons why Nigerians are scared of buying BMWs. So yeah, you see Theo a lot because he's going to try to counter all my 5 points. You think BMWs are not supposed to scare Nigerians to buy in Nigeria?
At all.
I will advise you, listen to me. Don't listen to Theo. He's going to be biased.
I won't be.
I don't trust him. BMW. Let's get into it. Number 1 reason is that BMWs have a complex electrical system. BMW is always leading when it comes to technology. Like BMWs, you see the newest technologies in BMW cars. Back in the day when the BMW E60 was released, it had the iDrive. Nobody had seen the iDrive before. 5 years later, everybody started using that kind of system in their infotainment. Do you understand? This old BMW 6 Series you are looking at had some of the craziest technological features. Up to date, not a lot of cars still have this technology that this car had back from the 90s. So yeah, BMW is always trying to, like other car brands, they would look at one car brand, they will copy each other, they will do this. BMW never copies, they do what they want to do. So it's always very complex. This complexity makes BMW a car that would not survive in the hands of an average Nigerian based on maintenance. Sometimes the complexity in BMWs makes them prone to hazards. For instance, like fire. Some BMWs have their drain plug. Drain plug is where you drain water from. Now, you want to drain water. But the way BMW now designed this drain plug is very complex that water will still be hidden in some parts of the car. And this water will go to where there are wires. Then the water will contaminate the wires. Then these wires that is supposed to supply electricity to some fuse or socket will burn and fire will happen from there. This is a very, very common problem. Look at this gear lever, for example. I don't think you've seen it in a lot of cars. BMW is always trying to do something we've never seen. You just see something weird. The BMW M4 doesn't have a parking gear. Like once you start it, you can't put it in park. BMW is just crazy like that. On BMWs, the most basic things fail. Your door lock can fail, your sunroof can fail, turn signal can fail, just because the electronic circuit is kind of complex. When I say complex, I mean it is not just like regular cars. It's not straight to the point. They've done some things because they want it to be better than how everybody is used to. This makes sense, but I feel like the problem is BMW does these complex things, but then they don't go on to test and test and test. The quality control is kind of poor. If you do something that is new to the world, you need to test it and make sure that this thing is going to work.
To me, they are not complex.
Because
they might be complex to someone else.
But you accept that not just any mechanic can work on a BMW.
Sure.
That's the issue.
That's sure.
The second reason Nigerians fear BMW is because BMW has an extensive use of plastic. BMW is in a deep-rooted relationship with plastic. Plastic is not the best of materials when it comes to moving car parts, like in the engine, in the turbocharger, in the thermostat, pipes, using plastic now. But BMW does this a lot. So now they use plastic, then it tends to fail. When it fails, you need to replace it. Then these things start to happen often. So yeah, you always need to maintain the car because there's a plastic part somewhere that is going to fail, no matter how much you maintain it. BMWs will have like a valve cover, an engine cover made from plastic. Something that is meant to, engine that is working under high pressure. Why is it plastic?
Oh, okay, so it has a plastic valve cover, yeah. But this plastic valve cover, nothing really happens to it unless this PCV valve here fails. If it fails, then you can have rough idling or the engine smoking, but you need to change the whole valve cover for that.
So, Sha, this is the plastic valve cover.
Yeah.
Before I continue on this mission, we hit 25k subscribers and we are very, very grateful to you guys. But please, can you do something for us now? Can you like this video? Can you subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed? Don't watch this video without subscribing, because this is the only way to help us grow. I journeyed 1,000 miles to get to this workshop to have all these BMWs in one place at the same time. It doesn't happen every time. And the reason why it happens is because you are there supporting us. So keep supporting us, subscribe, and like this video. Thank you very much. Let's continue. So yeah, it just always feels like BMWs are joking with the internals of the car. But they're actually not joking. They know what they are doing, because plastic is lighter. So it's going to make this car perform more. But Nigeria is very hot. Some other countries too are very hot. BMW is made in Germany. It's not hot. Do you understand? So it's very cool there. But yeah, it cannot just work. It cannot just work. I call this thing a mismatch. You built a mad engine. Then this small pipe that is supposed to connect the mad engine to actual performance is going to be made of plastic. Then that small pipe, and you know how all these small things matter a lot in cars, to now fail. And when it fails, you find it, you try and replace it. So BMWs made of plastic is just a big turn off for Nigerians. Also, even in the interior of the cars, you know, BMW is supposed to be a luxury car. Every other luxury car, you know, Benz, Range Rover, these cars use like high quality wood finish inside the cars and stuff. But BMW will still use plastic in some parts. Like for instance, the BMW 435i, the coupes, the two-door, the seats have plastic on the seat belt area. These things break.
Yeah. Like a lot of the cooling parts for the engine, a lot of plastic. So after, like, you know, depending on the engine, 60, 80, 100,000 miles, you need to change all those plastics.
Now look at this bicycle. This part is made of plastic. That's all right. So just imagine that this chain was also made of plastic. It cannot work. So yeah, an extensive use of plastic is just a huge turn off for Nigerians, and to make something that will make BMW not be a car that Nigerians naturally want to buy, no matter how much they love them. The third reason why is that BMW parts are not easily accessible from Nigeria. Nigerians have one habit with spare parts. I wouldn't necessarily call it bad, because in Nigeria we buy a lot of Tokumbo cars, so we are used to it. If a Nigerian wants to buy a spare part for his or her car, there are three options. It's either you buy an original part, that's the OEM, or you buy a Tokumbo part, that is an original part but that has been fairly used, or you buy an inferior part that they popularly call China, like Chinese parts. It's not like all the China parts come from China, or it's just like something that we are used to. It's like a lingo, China, Chinko parts. The same way we had Chinko phones then, I didn't know it used to last long, but they had all the Chinko phones will have iron, AC, everything, the loudest speaker, but it doesn't just last long. So that's how these parts are. For BMWs, there's no point putting like Chinko parts on your car, because it will fail. It will always fail. An example of this is the BMW M54 engine that always has water pump issue. When you buy fake parts, you buy it for maybe 150k. In 3 months, this thing will fail again. You keep on replacing this part until you buy the original one that now finally lasts maybe 2 years, but because it has plastic around it, it will still fail you. But then it does take longer time. So BMW is kind of stressful to own in this country. I personally know people that wait for weeks, sometimes months, just to get their parts to them, because they want to buy original parts. And to buy original parts, you have to ship it. Once you ship it, it takes time to get to you through the port and everything. And depending on how heavy it is, you cannot put some parts on the plane.
Well, depends on the parts, but most of the parts are ordered. Most of them are ordered. Few things we can get here, but suspension parts all brand new. It doesn't. I don't see the sense in going and buy a Tokumbo linkage or a Tokumbo shock absorber.
Apart from the fact that you're spending a lot of money, you're going to wait a lot of time to get your parts down to you here in Nigeria. So it feels like if you own this BMW, for example, this is a BMW M3. The owner probably has another car somewhere, because he knows that in 3 months' time I have to take my car somewhere and to be there for at least 3 weeks or 2 weeks, because they need to fix it. Do you understand? I'll tell you why these cars take so much time here, but just listen to me now. So now the owner would always have like another car that he relies on. BMW is just like a toxic relationship. When you want to enjoy yourself, when you want that mad fun, when you want to feel like a bad guy, run to your BMW. But you know deep down in your mind that you're still going back to your Toyota Corolla in the next 3 weeks. So yeah, that's how BMW does.
You don't buy a BMW to go to your office from, for example, from VI to Lekki back to VI. People that buy these cars, they want to travel, they want to go on adventures, they want to have that speeding experience, you know, taking curves at a higher speed than what you can normally do. If you try those curves at that speed in a Corolla, it is suicide mission.
The fourth thing that makes BMW very scary to Nigerians is that mechanics, that means technicians that fix these cars, are very scarce and they take a lot of time. Scarce and they take a lot of time. Theo that you have been seeing is a BMW mechanic, and I know how booked and busy he is. BMW is the one car brand that I am so sure, apart from supercars, I am so sure that BMWs only need specialist mechanics. You need a BMW mechanic to fix a BMW. If it is not a BMW mechanic, then you are wasting your time. See what I'm saying? Like, how do you expect a regular mechanic to see this kind of engine and not run away? It's very complex. Even for the smallest things like oil maintenance. For instance, this car doesn't have a conventional dipstick, so you can't even check the engine oil. So how do you know when you're supposed to service it when you see the light? How do you know the engine oil is low? Where is the dipstick if I want to gauge?
From inside.
Can you imagine? I cannot check my engine oil level. I'm going to be confused.
You can check it from inside electronically.
Electronically?
Yeah, it has a level sensor. You check it inside.
Why doesn't it have
you don't need to open your bonnet. You don't need to come down. You can do it from inside the car. If the oil even goes low, it will alert you that your oil is low. Why do you have to go and start bringing dipsticks checking oil? What if you don't check and you have an oil leak on the way? Engine gone.
Okay, I think that makes sense. Like I said, it's going to tackle me, but me and you know that you want dipstick.
I think the only disadvantage of not having a dipstick is you can't see the condition of your oil.
So like BMWs are just very crazy with their designs, and BMW mechanics are the only people that know what to do. And it makes sense because they have seen a lot of these problems. So like they know where to go to direct, even though it will take time, but they know what they are doing. But you know the thing hard to fix.
No, for some people they all start new.
But you don't do it now. So yeah, BMW needs specialist mechanics. And you know, based on economics, when a resource is scarce, it means the demand is going to be very high. Because of all the 4 problems I just mentioned, nobody wants to buy a BMW. And if nobody wants to buy a BMW, the value is going to be down. Like, I don't want this car. I don't want to buy this car. You put it on an auction website and everybody's telling you, you know that if I buy this car, I'll still spend 2 million naira to do this, to do this, to do this. You say, you know that if I buy this car, so you just be frustrated and you just sell it at any price because you just want the car to leave your hand. Even though you know that this car is under maintenance, can you see how beautiful it looks? Nobody wants this beautiful beast. I want them though. I love BMWs. I love BMWs. I'll tell you why later in this video. 2010 Toyota Corolla is worth about 4.5 million naira in the Tokunbo car market. A 2010 Mercedes-Benz C300 is worth about 5.5 to 6 million naira in Nigeria Tokunbo market. While a 2010 BMW E90, that's one of the cars at the back there, is worth, guess how much? It's worth about 3 million naira for a Tokunbo. Like, that's the cleanest one, 3 million naira. So yeah, Nigerians would rather trade the great looks, the great performance of a BMW for the peace of mind and reliability they get from their Toyota Corolla or Toyota Camry. Even a Benz is reliable. A Benz is reliable, but yeah, BMWs are just not reliable because you want to drive them every day and they cannot do that except you are ready to do what it takes. That's heavy maintenance. Like, you'll be importing parts and be keeping parts in your house, anticipating a damage. But that's crazy because no Nigerian is wired to do that. I cannot go and import 2 fuel pumps in my house because I'm anticipating something to spoil. Nah, it's crazy. And it's even expensive, not as if it's accessible. So yeah, it's tough. It's very, very tough. No other affordable car brand is as tough to maintain like a BMW in Nigeria. But still on still, I told you that there's something called BMW fanboys. There are BMW fanboys in Nigeria. We have the BMW Club of Nigeria. Theo is a member of the BMW Club of Nigeria. I have a couple friends in this club. I have Mate. Mate is also a mechanic. I have Ikem. Ikem has owned more than 8 BMWs, and he swears that BMW has built his character. Watch this.
There's something I always say: if you've owned a BMW, there's no problem in life that can face you. The BM will test you. It will test your patience. It will test your resilience. It will also test your ability to adapt to change. So if you can survive a BMW, there's nothing in life that you can't survive. But I've had 9. My 9th one, so it cost me.
But yeah, there's one thing Ikem did that I feel is an hack to only BMWs in Nigeria. Ikem drives a BMW F10 and he bought it brand new.
Well, it's money. It's money. It's not easy buying a brand new BMW right now, especially with the current exchange rate.
So let me answer one particular question I know everybody wants to ask me at this point. Would I crank buy a BMW? Of course. Do you know this car? This is a BMW M3 E92. Has a V8 engine. Crazy car. I want this car. But I know that when I buy this car, I'll still bring it to the workshop every 3 months to service.
Driver, I love driving. BMW is a driver's car. I love the performance. You know, you can play with it. You can do anything you want with it. You know, stable, balanced like mad on the express, curves, everything.
I don't mind having a car that will make me happy for a month, and I know that 2 weeks I have to fix it. It's like, it makes sense because I don't even want to over-enjoy what this car is going to give me because I want to tame it, I want to enjoy it small, so I don't mind. It's just the money. So if I'm rich, yes, I would only drive BMWs. I would only drive BMW. I saw a crazy quote on my Twitter the other day by some guy named Kufre. You know what he said? He said, you will never love a BMW until you drive one. And you would never hate a BMW until you own one. That's crazy. Think about it. So yeah, if you don't care about a BMW, there's no point owning it because you will not understand it. You're getting great driving dynamics, you're getting great performance, you're getting great looks. BMWs are crazy sleepers. The BMW E30 you see is always drifting everywhere. Why is the Mercedes-Benz not drifting like that? Why is the Honda or a Toyota not drifting like that? They don't have what it takes. That particular BMW E30 is called the German mistake because it can take any size of an engine, from a 4-cylinder to a V12 engine. A V12 engine can fit into the engine bay of an E30. So it's crazy. BMW makes cars that last centuries. BMWs are legendary. But watch this video again in case you're about to change your mind. My name is Crank of 234 Drive, and let me know your BMW experiences. Let me know if you're going to own a BMW. Let me know why you love a BMW. Let me know why you would never buy a BMW. Let's just talk in the comments. My name is Crank, and this is 234 Drive. Thank you very much for watching.